property you're about to see will not pass a VA appraisal inspection, but it's probably not for the reasons you think. So a few weeks ago, a couple called me and said that they wanted me to help them sell their house, but they didn't want to put it on the traditional market. We call that a pocket listing. They wanted me to help them find a buyer so they could save money on commissions. Totally understand. A couple weeks later, we found them a buyer, but they're a VA buyer. And upon further inspection of the house, we realized there's a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. So in this video, we're going to talk about the 4 main things going on with this property as to why it will not pass a VA appraisal. Let's walk through it. So a big one that the appraisers don't like is non-stained or non-painted wood, especially when it's next to wood that has been painted. So that's going to be a big red flag when the appraiser comes out. He's either going to say that you got to stain it or you got to paint it. So keep your eye on that. Non-painted wood, VA appraisers hate it. I'm going to go over here to the garage, and that's when we start to see some wood rot. Now that's mainly from the rain. And this is a big thing that we see here in my area is the rain collects at the bottom of these areas, like on the garage, and it causes wood rot. VA appraisers hate wood rot. They're always going to ask you to not just repaint those, but they're going to ask you to swap them out completely and repaint them. Now, there's a couple things on the inside I want to bring to your attention. One is a little known fact. This could be considered a trip hazard because there's no transition. So you need like a transition strip there, or the VA appraiser might ding that as a trip hazard and ask you to install it. One of the other ones is going to be the carbon monoxide or fire detectors. All right. You got to have carbon monoxide, got to have fire detectors on the place, or they're going to ding you every single time. So back in the housing craze of 2020 up to 2022, when people were getting multiple offers on their houses, they didn't want to accept VA loans. And the main reason was because the appraisal. The appraisals for VA loans are some of the most strict. Now, a lot of those houses would have been perfectly fine with a VA loan, but they didn't want to risk it. And so that put a lot of people out of contention for homes, especially here in my market in Killeen, which we're 99% VA. Well, VA loans are back in style, but you do have to make sure that you tighten up some of the key areas of the house. So we're going out to the back real quick, and I'll show you another common place where I see wood rot. So you're either going to have to replace that whole thing or do some sort of bracketing around it in order to protect that area. I think that's what we're going to do in this case, is kind of bracket around there so that you can't see the wood rot. VA appraiser is going to be okay with that. Sometimes they'll ding you for this chipped paneling, but that's a big maybe. And so kind of while we're going through the house, I think I got one more bonus one for you guys, and that's going to be under the sink. Now, not every VA appraiser is going to check under the sink, but if they do go under there and they can see that there is an active leak there and that wood needs to get changed out, they're going to ask you to change that out. So whether there's an active leak or not, if there was a leak and this wood is rotted, you got to change that. So this one has some really easy things to fix, but others may not. A few other things that an appraiser is going to be looking for on a VA appraisal is going to be flooring. You want to make sure the house has active flooring, whether it's carpet or tile. Another big one is making sure that there are appliances. There doesn't have to be a dishwasher, but if there's a space for a dishwasher, there has to be one. And there doesn't have to be a refrigerator because that's not considered real property, but there needs to be a stove. Another big one that they're looking for is leaks. So if there's an active leak in the property and they can actually see the water on the floor, they're going to hit you for that as well. VA appraisals are great for buyers, but not always the best for sellers because they hold them to a higher standard. If you've got a property and you're not sure if it would pass a VA appraisal, send it over. I'm more than happy to help you. And if you're a buyer looking at a property and you want to know if it would pass a VA appraisal, reach out. Links in the description. So looking forward to hearing your story. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.